he's just getting started for sure.
Yep.
So, all right, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat, man. This is fun, just talking ball with you guys. I almost want to do the whole show like that, but we better get to the PFF grades. So let's jump into it here. So just to kind of look overall here, and this may be a little hard for you to see. I'll try to get it zoomed in a touch. So far in this young season here, the best game we've played was week 2 against the Commanders, just according to PFF. We graded out an 85.9. The second best game was week 1 against the Lions, a 77.4. The worst game, obviously, was with against the Browns, a 60.0 overall team PFF grade. And then last night against the Cowboys was a 71.9. So what you're doing is you're kind of raising that floor a bit, right? That's what's happening. Now, in terms of win-loss predictions, I said going into the season, 11 to 14 wins is where I was at. I've now, after a quarter of the season, you guys know I adjust this in real time. You kind of start zeroing in on where you're going to finish. I've got them now, Tim, 11 to 13. I still think 11 is the floor. I believe that.
Okay.
I think 13 is kind of the ceiling right now. Anything could happen. They could run the table the rest of the way out, or you could have a flurry of really, really bad injuries and finish with 7 wins. That could happen. But right now I've got them 11 to 13, just so. And when you look at the floor so far as a 60.0 and the ceiling of 85.9, what you want to see is that floor continue to raise like the 71.9. Let's make that the new floor. And let's see if we can stretch that, somewhere between 85 to 90 overall and just stay in that range, stay consistent all year. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. And I think it's fair, after the first quarter of the season here in the books to just kind of, really adjust, predictions. And we know 11 wins being the floor. I agree with you on that because that's what it's going to take, I think, to make the playoffs in the NFC. And that's all we're playing for in the regular season, right? Get a spot, get in the mix, and go run after a Lombardi, right? I don't think I need to remind anyone that, some of the best Packer teams ever had ups and downs, had tough seasons. I think of that 2010 championship run. That was absolutely amazing what this team was able to do down the stretch, and it's banding together and winning games in crunch time. Play good enough to give yourself a spot in the playoffs. Right. Ideally you'd like to be at home. Ideally you'd like a first round bye, all these things. But again, I mean, we've seen Packer teams crap the bed with a bye in the playoffs. And we've seen them run the table and go all the way and bring a Super Bowl home. So, strap yourself in. It'd be nice to win, 13, 14 games. But I'll take 11 or 12 and a spot in the playoffs and a chance to, win it all.
Yeah, completely agree, man. All right. Let's get into the offensive PFF grades. Josh Jacobs, let's go, man. That's what we were looking for there. He struggled this year. Obviously, the blocking has been bad. Crazy stat last night on the post-game show. Emilio had the early PFF grades, which sometimes they adjust dramatically in some cases. Most of the time, they stay pretty close to where they were. He said, who do y'all think are the top 3 offensive graded players? One of the 3 I listed was Darian Kennard, right? And
nailed it.
Hit on it. Right? He was the 3rd highest graded player. Tim, that makes me feel really good about Darian Kennard. The fact that he showed up last night. Again, I know he wasn't against a bunch of world beaters in the pass rush of the Dallas Cowboys, but you can only play the opponents across from you. You're planning on getting Zach Tom back, hopefully immediately following the bye, right? You can get him back. And now you got Darian Kennard. Hey, that's your backup right tackle. Hell or high water, that's your dude. That's who you go to. No more of this. Well, Jordan Morgan's actually available. Let's put him out. No. Darian Kennard needs to be your specialist, your backup right tackle. Again, 74.8. A run blocking grade of 88.8. No surprise that Darian Kennard goes in at right tackle and boom, 88.8 run blocking grade. And all of a sudden Josh Jacobs gets unlocked a little bit, right? I don't think that's a coincidence. Jordan Morgan, that's not his strength. His strength is pass blocking off the left side. That's what he does well, right? Yep. So love to see Darian Kennard. It ain't no surprise. You go and trade for him from Philly and, they run the heck out of the ball. At least they did last year winning the Super Bowl when he was there. So, that makes a lot of sense. So you had Josh Jacobs, number 1 at 81.8. Jordan Love, number 2 at 78.6. Darian Kennard, number 3, 74.8. Malik Heath, only 19 snaps. Actually, that's a pretty significant amount of snaps, 71.3. Tucker Kraft, 79 snaps, 68.0. Love to see that. And then Jordan Morgan bouncing back. Look at that, man. At left guard, surprise, surprise, 67.8, right?
Yes. So, look what happens. Get him off the right side of the line. And, he looks a lot better. I think it's actually really a testament to, Jordan Morgan's ability to play effectively at that left guard spot, because he is a pure tackle on the left side. And, it's not time to give him the role there. We'll see what happens with Rashid, going forward throughout this season. But ultimately, I stand by our original assessment, which is Jordan Morgan needs to be on the left side of the line, period.
So now you see kind of the pieces start to fall into place, right? Let's say that everyone's healthy and you've got Rasheed Walker left tackle, you've got Aaron Banks left guard, Elton Jenkins center. And I'm not saying everybody's playing great. Don't take that the wrong way. I'm just saying this is, I feel like, the best line that we have, right? Right guard, I think you stick with Sean Ryan. I don't care. Forget what we said about Jordan Morgan and this and that. With Sean Ryan, I believe he graded out pretty bad, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he graded out a 46.2, but I don't remember just thinking, oh no, he's getting his butt kicked over there. You know what I'm saying? So,
and I feel like that spot is his most comfortable assignment. I really think, we saw him a little bit, last couple of years at center, experimenting with him at center, and, even left guard. But I think right guard is probably where he feels the most comfortable.
Yeah. So again, left tackle Rasheed Walker, left guard Aaron Banks, center Elton Jenkins, backup center will be Sean Ryan, but he'll be starting at right guard. Yep. And then right tackle Zach Tom. Now let's talk backups. Darian Kennard, backup right tackle, backup right guard is the way I would go. And then you got Anthony Belton, right? Once he's healthy, I think he's got the ankle, if I remember correctly. So have him as the next backup, right behind right tackle.
Well, Escalade's the real deal. I think
so too, man.
I mean, at least in my opinion, I think we've seen enough to, feel good about that pick. And I think he's going to develop really nicely. We just have to be patient and allow that to happen. And like you said, once he's healthy, it's going to be great to see him out there. But I love 71, man. Big Escalade.
Yep. And then on the left side, your backup left tackle, Jordan Morgan, your backup left guard, Jordan Morgan. I feel really good about that. And your next backup at left tackle, the position that Anthony Belton played all through college, would be Anthony Belton. So Anthony Belton's kind of the third string swing tackle, essentially, right? I feel good about that. So I think they'll continue to improve as the year goes along. I think we need to stop with the pony package spinaroo where you're faking to this guy and turning there and faking to that guy. It's not working anymore. You've shown that hand all year last year. It was very effective last year at times. Got to move away from that. And I thought that Matt did do that there in the second half. I thought that, okay, that's not working. Let's get away from that a bit. So
you still want to keep those plays in your back pocket, right? Kind of bury them away and maybe you go to it, catch a defense off guard a little bit, but that's not our bread and butter anymore. Too much of that is seems to be proving difficult, especially with a kind of piece together O-line with the injuries we've had. I think your rhythm is kind of out of whack, and it's difficult to run those plays. It really is. You need 11 guys to be perfect when you have that kind of deception built into your offense.
Yeah, for sure. Let's look at Jordan Morgan real quick on the year. Just want to take a quick glance. So 73.5, 41, 40. And then a 67.8. It's hilarious, man. When we turn on the tape, we feel like he plays better at left guard on the left side. PFF completely disagrees, although we've seen him get his butt kicked at right guard. It's strange how the grades don't match up there, but that's all right. So on the year now, he is sitting at a 50.1. So again, I want to see him at left guard moving forward on the left side. Yep. And I think you're going to get closer to that 60 to 70 range and let him continue to build a little freaking confidence, man. Stop trying to make him do something he can't. It's just like Matthew Golden. And that's, if there's one thing I would knock this coaching staff over, and it's not just this year, it's been years in the past, is you try to fit square pegs into round holes, right? All the freaking time. Find out what they do well and just let them settle in there. Let them do that. Like Savion, to me, looks comfortable returning kicks. Let him do that. Matthew Golden does not look comfortable. At one point, he looked too comfortable last night, hitting the B button for no damn reason. I thought he's going to kill himself. But
absolutely,
just too valuable in the passing game right now, especially with all the injuries you got at receivers. So
I think so too. And even just physically, Savion's build, compared to Matthew Golden's build, I think you're going to worry a little bit less about that type of moment with a guy like Savion returning punts and kicks for you.
Yeah, they did. I'm with you, Jay, man. They just about got him crushed out there, man. My goodness.
Shows some toughness factor though from MG, man, because he popped right up, and you could tell he was a little he was a little dazed a little bit, but man, I think he's just a hard-nosed guy deep down, man. He's a tough player.
Yeah. So again, Matthew Golden on the year, 61.8, 52.7, 62.8, 63.7. So you're now seeing he's in the 60s now. He's 60.9 PFF grade. What do we always say? Anybody who grades out in the 60s or higher as a rookie, typically a good indicator they're going to be a good pro. I think you're going to see that number get closer to 70 and eventually break 70. He'll have a bad game here or there, but I think you're going to see him get better and better the more snaps he gets. He's learning now the speed of the NFL as opposed to college is the way I feel about that. Yeah. So I don't know how Romeo Doubs had such a bad grade. I mean, the run blocking, I get it. And maybe that smoke screen or that bubble screen to Matthew Golden, maybe that's considered a run block. He completely whiffed on that. That's the reason that play got blown up. And I didn't like the hat count in general with the pre-snap judgment there by Love, but you had a shot and Dobby just missed that block. So maybe that's what hurt his grade the most. I thought he was clutch last night along with the Golden at times. So Tucker Kraft just continues to do what he does, right? I think they said he's second in yards receiving for tight ends right now. So you see his PFF grade starting his rookie year, 60, then 67, 69. This year, starting in week 1, 63, 86, 47, 68. So he's now sitting at a 69.5, about to crack into the 70s. Again, when you look at the advanced metrics and everything, he's toward the top of the league in terms of tight ends and production. He's got some of the surest hands in the game. I think Jordan has really developed a lot of trust in him. And the more trust he develops in Golden and continues to go in that direction, and then you get Christian Watson back, you're going to see Tucker Kraft really open up underneath. It's going to be exciting. So I'm happy with where Tucker's at for sure.
Me too. I would have liked to see a little bit more targets for him last night, but I think, like you said, it was kind of just the nature of the beast and how that game was going. I think as you go forward, you'll see things open up, and Jordan will be able to lean on him a little bit more in the passing game.
Joe in the chat says, I didn't like that screen in the red zone. Where did Matt think the DBs would be lined up in the back of the end zone? Now, if you watch it back, Joe, you had the hat count. You had a little bit of leverage there. You fire it to Matthew Golden. If Romeo Doubs blocks his guy, Golden's got his speed around the edge outside. This is what I was talking about with smokes and bubbles, that you want to incorporate those more into the RPO game. To me, it was a good call. The guy read it perfect. Diggs read it perfect, and Dobby just didn't get to his spot. He absolutely got Matthew Golden crushed on that play. Now, does Trayvon Diggs still make that play, or does someone else make the play? It's possible, but I like the way Matt was going there rather than throwing it, because when the play started, there was those 3 DBs on that side of the field were in the end zone. So, the only other what's the other option? You know what I mean? Try to take a shot at the end zone there. I like the fact that they tried to work underneath with the athleticism. It's just, I thought it was a decent play call, bad execution, in my opinion. But again, I've only watched it once. By the third time, I may change my mind on that. I haven't really checked that play out over and over and over. So anything else you want to hit on offense, Tim, before we move to defense? Anything at all, man? Good. I think we're good. I think we covered it pretty much. Right?
Yeah, I think so.